And we're live. Hello. I'm gonna switch studio to off. And I think we're ready. We're all set for today's stream. Can you hear me? Let me check. Yes, I believe everything is working. I believe everything is great. Oh no. Hello. So today is gonna be a little bit different from previous streams because today we're gonna be making a Twitch extension. So yesterday I tried a new thing. I let my chat control the color of this LED lamp. It's blue right now, but the way you do that was you type in chat like light red, light blue, which is first a little bit too hard for users to do. Like there's a lot of typing, and second, it's kind of spammy because why spam chat with those messages if I could just make an interface for that. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm doing an interface for my Twitch extension that will allow users to control the color of this light right here. So I already developed the backend part. Well, I started developing it. It has some basics working, and I will still need to do some work on there. Mainly, probably set some time of some sort of cooldown so that you couldn't just switch light every 2 seconds. But right now it's very simple. It just receives messages from Twitch, from this, and sends them to my lamp. So right now, if you can see, and I'm pretty sure you can, I have this panel on my Twitch channel. You don't see it because it's in testing right now, so it's not available for you. And even if it wasn't in testing, it's on my local computer, so it wouldn't be able to load for you. So you will see it later when I'm finished with it. And for now, it's very simple interface. It just says "Hello World," which I forgot to delete. And there are 3 buttons: red, blue, and white. And when I press buttons, it changes the color of my lamp. Let's keep it to blue for now. So I could just make a list of buttons to press, but that's not very interesting, right? What would be more interesting if I could have some sort of a color wheel so users can select any color they want. So any shade of any tint you'd like. But there's a problem there. I cannot really let my users pick any shades of green because then well, I cannot show you right now what's going to happen, but you can probably imagine that my keying setup will just erase my face completely if it has any green of it. So I would have to also like block out some portion of the color wheel so that it won't be available for users to pick. So I haven't really planned that much what kind of interface that would be. But for starters, I just want to make like a color wheel and a button to change the color. There probably will be some sort of like timer to tell you that you cannot change it that often. But yeah, we can add it later. So first things first, I want to have a color wheel. And funnily enough, I did say this will be a different stream, a different kind of stream, but I'm gonna start with the Blender because I want to create the image for the color wheel, so I would see what I'm working with, and I would see what colors I choose. So let's go to Blender and let's create a plane, and we'll be rendering this plane straight on. So I'll make a camera that will be a little bit higher. Let's change its rotation. Its rotation to 0, 0, 0. and let's change its type to orthographic. Also, I want it to be squared, so I'm gonna go to output properties and change it to let's say 300 by 300, because I believe the Twitch panel size is 318. So let's make it a little smaller. I could change it later. So actually, I believe I enabled the overlay option. Let's see if it works. Probably doesn't. Let me refresh this page. Yeah, I'm not sure how the video overlay works, so I set it up as a panel for now. I will make it into an overlay because that makes more sense. I only need it when I'm live. Actually, maybe it's here. Version details, capabilities. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one. Files. So here's the options I could enable. Right now I have a panel and a video component, and they use the same files for now. So I would imagine the video component would just start working, but it doesn't, which is kind of weird because I would have to test it while I'm live, right? I cannot test it when I'm offline. So I would have to figure it out somehow. Learn more about video extensions. Should probably be some sort of extra UI. Measuring extension rendering best. You're enable the new design on Twitch website so the local storage available on the Twitch TV. Oh no. Okay, I will read it later. For now, let's focus on the panel. Okay, I was making this setup. So right now it uses too much space here. So I need to change the orthographic scale to 2 so it fits into our panel plane. Plane is 2 by 2, so if I set orthographic scale to 2, then it will fit, then the plane will fit my view completely. Also, let's change the film transparent option so that we can render alpha. Oh no, did it freeze? I think it froze. That's not good. Okay, let's try again. Okay. I'm gonna save it. Color wheel. Save. And again, film transparent is on. Good. Here we go. That was weird. Hello, Theos. How are you doing? Haven't seen you here before. So welcome to my stream. Hope you like it. Oh, sorry. I don't think I can chat right now. Voice. if it's fine, because I will be coding, and that might be hard for me, like to speak and code too. I might do it later at some point, but not today probably. Sorry. So if you missed the beginning, what I'm doing today is I'm making an extension for Twitch that will allow chat to change my lamp color, this one. So right now I have a very basic interface with some buttons that I can press and it will change my color. And I want to make a color wheel so you can actually pick any shade you want. So right now I'm gonna make this color wheel in Blender. Oh, I have some weird shades from the sun. My curtains are not very what's the word? I forgot the word. Like, they don't block out the sun completely, so I get some weird reflections sometimes. So let me turn on this. That's better. That's so cool. Thank you. It will be even more cooler when it has a nice interface. So let's make the wheel. I'm gonna figure out. So I'm gonna make a shader that draws this wheel, but the algorithm that it uses to pick colors will be exactly the same as the algorithm in the interface, because in both the shader and the interface will be getting a color based on where we sample the point. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna be using UVs for this. So I'm gonna have exactly the whole render will fit exactly into UV space, and since I'm making a color wheel, I will have like radial structure with as we walk along the circle, we will be changing the hue of the color, and as we walk towards the center, we will be changing the saturation. So we will have most saturation on the edges of the circle, and it will be white in the middle. So let's think how we're gonna do it. So we need to have some sort of two axes. We need to figure out those two axes, as I said. So the center of a circle will be in the 0.5 coordinate. So I need to convert my UV space into this circle space. Let's do this with the mapping node. I'm gonna scale it up. No, wait. I'm gonna scale it down because I want the whole space to contain the range from -1 to 1. Right now it contains the range from 0 to 1. Wait, that means I need to scale up, right? Yeah. And also transform it. Should probably change it to vector. No. Okay, the scale is happening before the transformation, which is a shame. Anyway, I can just do it. Oh, if it's happening before the transformation, that means I need to transform by 1 instead of 0.5, and I can use it in the same node. Here we go. So this should be correct. Let's check it by using distance node. And making a threshold. less than. And so right now it should be giving me a circle, and it doesn't. Nice. Okay, what's the problem here? Measure distance to 0. Oh. This is weird. Oh, of course, that's because I'm also transforming the z coordinate, and I shouldn't do this. Yeah, here we go. So this is a perfect 1 unit wide, y unit radius circle, which is what I need. Actually, I will save that because I will need it as a mask for the color wheel, because I don't want any colors to be in those corners. So I will need this later. Okay, so we have the coordinates. Now we need to get our 2 color dimensions, which is hue and saturation. So hue is sort of cycled. That's why we're making a color wheel. So hue 0 will be exactly the same as hue 1, which will later map to actual colors. Let's see. So distance is actually our saturation. We already have it. Here we go. So as we move away from the center, this value, this distance, increases from 0 to 1, which is exactly what we need for saturation. So let's have it here. And to find out our hue, we need to get an A10, I believe, of. So we basically need to get an angle of a vector that we would have if we compare. Okay, let me try to explain. So if, for example, I want a color, pick a color on the wheel right here, then to get its hue, I will need to find out this angle from this line, because this line will represent hue 0 and also hue 1 if we do the complete circle. So any point on this line here will have the exact same hue. So the angle is what's important. And to find the angle, let me see how we can do it in Blender. I don't remember if there is an A10-2 function. There's probably no A10-2 function. So the problem with just using tan is it will mix up. It will use the same values for the left side of a circle and the right side of a circle. So I will also need to check the cosine and see if it's below 0. Okay, it's probably will be much more. It will be simpler to understand when you see the actual things, because it's much more visual. Let's try to get the A10. Oh, there is A10-2. Nice. So I don't need to do anything actually. So A10-2, it's very simple. It just takes your X value and your Y value, and it gives you the angle. Super simple. So let's break our vector. Nope, that's the wrong one. Separate. Yeah. And we're gonna plug X and Y into this. And as you can see, well, it uses a different line from what I told it would use, but okay, that's fine. Let's use it. So it goes from minus pi, I believe, to pi. So this black here means it's below 0. So from here to here, all the way here, it's below 0. And from here to here, it's above 0. But as you can see, it becomes white somewhere here. And that's because it hits 1 at this point. Then it goes up to pi, which is 3.1415, and so on. So to map it into the range we want, which is 0 to 1, we need to divide it by 2 pi, because that's the length of the whole thing. And then also to move this black, this 0 point to here. Actually, maybe we don't need to do this. No, we need to do this. Okay, if we divide it by 2 pi, we'll get a range of minus 0.5 to 0.5. So we'll have to also add 0.5 to it. So it will not go below 0. Okay, let's do this. Again, it will be more visual once we do this. Let's divide it. I'm not sure if you can use constants here. Probably not. Oh, you can. Cool. If I want 2 pi. Great. Yeah. Nice. So right now I divided it. So as you can see, this became much darker because now it goes to 0.5. But we still have all of this black part here. That means it still goes below 0, which I don't need. Totaling force Minecraft to play mods might be gone. Alright, yeah, come back if you want to. Thank you for coming over. So let's add 0.5 to it. Here we go. Now it goes from 0 to 1. Actually, it doesn't look white because Blender does some tone mapping, which I do not need for this render. I want the colors to be exact. So I'm gonna go to render settings, render settings, and in color management, I'm gonna change view transform to raw. Here we go. So now it displays the exact colors that we're using. Okay, those I believe are different types of gamma correction. So raw is just the color as it is, and standard is with gamma correction applied. I might be wrong. Let's use raw for now. Actually, this might be correct. Because if you're using the linear space, which we want, it should go from black to middle gray very fast. This looks like more. This looks more like the adjusted color. We're probably gonna see what exactly we need later for this. Okay, so here's our hue space. Here's our saturation space. So now we just need to grade to combine them. And actually Blender has a node for that. Combine HSV, which takes values for hue, saturation, and value, which will be 1, and gives us the color. I will still need to do it manually in JavaScript when I do the color picking code, but in Blender I can cheat a little and use this node here. So here we go. Here's our color wheel. It looks weird in the corners, and that's because it goes out of our color space. So it starts clumping some colors into one color. So again, as I said before, I just need to use this to mask out our circle, and I will use alpha for it. Actually, no, I'm not going to use alpha because I don't need principled shader. Principled shader describes a physical surface, and this is not a physical surface, I just want some colors. So instead I'm going to use emission shader, which doesn't use alpha. And instead of using alpha, I will have to create a transparent shader and mix those two together using that mask. So let's create a mix shader. This will be transparent, this will be emission, and this will be our output. So I still need to connect the mask, and here we go. Doesn't use the... Does it give me alpha? No, it doesn't. That's weird. Do I need to use cycles for it? Interesting. I didn't know that Eevee doesn't use transparent BSDF. That's weird. Well, I could... What if I just use principled? Oh, of course. Of course, that's because I didn't set the alpha mode on the material. I need to send blend mode to alpha blend. Here we go. Okay, let's see how it looks in the raw space. Not entirely sure which one is correct here. Guess I'll have to just see, just compare it to my JavaScript code and see if it produces the same colors. Okay, for now, let's just use this. I can change it later. Save it to my folder when I make the extension. Let me find it. Color wheel.png. Okay, save. And now I have this as a PNG. So now I can add it to my interface and start working on the code for actually picking the color. Let's go to the HTML code. So here's my, it's a bit messy, sorry for that. I can probably delete the hello world part. Let's change it to color picker. I'm gonna leave those buttons for now. I'll delete them when the color wheel is working. So let's add a div here. Let's call it color wheel. It will be an empty div. Let's create an actual head tag here. So that I can also create a style. Let's put it all into body tag. Let's do proper HTML. Actually, it all should be inside of an HTML tag, so I should also do this. Okay. Now it's proper, sort of. I believe it also need to have encoding tag, but whatever. I don't actually want to make proper HTML. Okay, let's change the style of this div that I created to use the PNG that I made. I'm gonna add a style selector called color wheel. It will be of 300 pixels by 300 pixels. And it will use this PNG as a background. So background image URL color wheel.png. Okay, let's see if it worked. Yep, it did. It's too big. Okay, let's make it smaller. Let's make it 250. 250. Let's make it 256. Let's stick to powers of 2. Okay. Only to get rid of this scroll wheel. So now let's register clicks on this div. Let's say document get element by ID color wheel. Click function. We'll need to use some information about the where we clicked. So I'm going to use this event handler, event object. And to be quite honest, don't remember if I can just get the offset in the event. So let's actually do the bad thing and console log it. I know it's not a proper way to debug, but I'm lazy. Never learn. Where's the console? Okay, yeah, it gives me the actual offset here, but it's wrong. Should be more than 250, right? Where's it counting from? It's counting, okay, it's inside the iframe. Oh, there's also offset X and offset Y, which seems to be more accurate. Yeah, I think I should use those. Okay, so let's create some variables. X will be E offset X divided by 250. Not sure, can it get to 256? I think it can. Which makes sense. Yeah, if the first pixel will give us 0, then the last one will give us 255. So let's divide it by 255 and do the same with y. So now we have our coordinates, but if we compare it to Blender, they're flipped, because in Blender we're using UV space, so our origin point is here, but in JavaScript it counts the offset from this point. So I need to flip the y value. So y equals 1 minus y. Okay, so next is, again, I need to do this, but now in JavaScript. So I need to multiply by 2 and subtract 1 to get the space into the circle space. X equals x multiplied by 2, subtract 1, and do the same to y. So now if I take the distance from it, I will get my saturation value. So, and to get the distance, what I need to do is use Pythagorean equation, I think it's called. It goes like this. To get distance, I take the square root of x multiplied by x and y multiplied by y. So if I see what this gives me, yeah, it seems to be working. As I approach the center, it goes towards 0, and as I go to the edges, it goes to 1, and here it goes beyond 1. So I probably should also check if distance is bigger than 1. I could either drop the click, or I could just set distance to 1. I'm not sure of what is the better way right now. Okay, now let's get the saturation. I believe JavaScript has 8 and 2, so let's try to get the hue. Equals math 8 and 2, but I believe it takes y as the first one. Wait, actually, now that I think about it, it probably should be flipped, like this is the y and this is x, but I do want to have red in the bottom, so I guess I'll leave it like that. So here I will use x and y too. Let's try to see what it does. I don't need this. All right, yeah, it goes from minus pi to 0 to pi, which is exactly what it did in Blender. So again, now I need to divided by 2 pi. And add 0.5. Wonder if I could reload just the frame. Twitch is loading. It's taking forever to load. This. Yeah, okay, but this is faster. So now it goes from 0 to 1. Great. So now I need to get the color from those values, and in Blender it was easy, but now I will need to make an actual function that will transform hue and saturation into value. Actually, let me see what is the function. Maybe just so I don't do it the hard way. If there's an easier way, I might need to check that. So let's go transform HSV to RGB. Here we go. So there's HSL and HSV, which I don't really care about because both lightness and value for me will be 1 all the time. I only care about hue and saturations. Sorry. Let's see. Value minus. Looks complicated. I might need to actually read it. Okay, what? This is what I wanted to do. Like just have a bunch of ifs. Wait, what's the M? Find RG and B by adding the same amount of each component to match value. Oh, that's for... It's for values. Not sure what's going on here. Okay, let's see. Given an HSV color with hue value, we can use the same strategy. First we find chroma, which is value multiplied by saturation. So it will be just saturation in my case. Then we can again find a point along the bottom 3 faces of the RGB cube. The same hue and chroma as our color. Alright, so I just need this, because I don't need to use value. So I guess it's a bunch of ifs anyway. right? C is saturation, X all right. Yeah, let's try this. Let's rename it to saturation. Okay, so my hue is in the 0 to 1 space, and there it uses 0 to 360 degrees. So let's multiply hue by 360. Then we'll have, have H equal to hue divided by 60. Also have X, which will be chroma, which is equal to my saturation multiplied by 1 minus absolute, oh no, math apps, H modulo 2 minus 1. Probably should put this into parentheses. Okay, so what's the... Should I just make if zero lesser or equal than H, and H is lesser or equal than 1. Shouldn't use and in JavaScript, use those. So if that's the case, then let's just color. So no, I think I can define it in the brackets. It will be available in the scope. So color will be saturation. So it's too long. Let's call it C after all. So here color is CX0. Else if why would you do this? Okay. Okay, now we're working with 1 to 2, and color will be XC0. And now just do this a bunch of times. Exactly 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. Three, 4, 5, 6, and it should not be equal here. Okay, then it's 0cx, 0xc. x0c and c0x. And then we return color. Let's say if not color for some reason, then color will be 0, 0, 0. Right? Let's try this. Distance is not defined. Why do I use distance? Actually, I could just do this. Seems like it's working. Now I would need to actually compare the colors somehow. How would I do it? Let's create a small div that will take the color that we clicked and put it into the color circle so that we can compare. Div id equals picked color. So if it's width like 4 pixels, height 4 pixels, margin -2, -2, -2 pixels. Position will be absolute. That's it. Alright, so now when we get the color, actually let's multiply all of the components by 255. Oops. Let's do round. Actually, wait, does CSS use CSS use 255 or 0 to 1. Yeah, okay. So let's drop this. Document get element by ID. Picked color. Style. Ground color equals RGB. And now we're gonna list our values here. Oh no. Wait, I can just color join with the comma. That should work. Let's try. Oh wait, I forgot to place it. Yeah, but it does change color. I can already see it's not correct. Okay, so yeah, probably have to add that value there, because right now it uses value is always 0. And I need to be always 1. Wait, that's not right. Okay, whatever. I should finish this. Value minus C. So my value is always 1. And value minus C. Okay, I'll just try to do it. Actually, let's get this back in, just so I'm not as confused. C equals 1 multiplied by the saturation, which will always be the same. I also need M, which will be 1 minus C, which will always be 1 minus saturation. So I need to add this value. To RGB. Oh, not this one, this one. Here we go. Yeah, I think it's working. All right. Thanks, Wikipedia. Okay. Now let's move this element here. Let's take this. Let's call it picked element. Style top equals what is client client X, client Y. Offset Y is relative to image, I now need relative to the frame. So probably a client Y plus pixels. And left will be E client X plus pixels. Okay, don't even see it. Does it mean it's correct? That's how the border to it. Yeah. I think it is correct. If I don't see it when it doesn't have a border, that means the color is exactly the same, right? Means it does its job just fine. All right, I guess we picked the right option in the Blender though. Then that's good. Let's actually send this to the lamp now. I don't want it to send the color every time you press you click on the wheel, because well, you might do it a few times. I don't want it to be a request every time. So I want there to be a button that you press after you select the color. Maybe this button can even display the color you picked. So yeah, let's add a button called set color. Let's change the color of this button itself. So document, get element, set color, style, background color will be again this. I can save it to a variable. Oh no, it uses the default button borders. Oh no, doesn't look good. I'll have to redefine the style. Also, if the color is like this, you can't really read the text. Not good. Alright, let's add some behavior to it. Yeah, we need to save the color to the variable outside the function. And here, if we have a color, send it. Should work. Let's try. Yeah, here we go. See, that's what happens when I set the color to green. So there should be like some sort of a border here that will prevent you from picking those. Okay, so right now those don't really look like orange. That's probably because the code on the lamp doesn't use the, what's it called, gamma correction. So, oh no, when I scroll it's wrong. Probably shouldn't use client then. So I probably also should change the code on the lamp so that it handles colors that are not completely saturated better, because right now this will be just white basically. But the picker works. I need to change the way it gets the places the new color. So instead of client Y, I should use something else. I forgot what exactly. Let's console log it again. Actually, let's try to do it the right way. If I remember how. Where is localhost? Any localhost? Come on. This is our script. No, I cannot set. How can I see the script as a source? I don't remember. Oh, here we go. Alright, so if I add a breakpoint here, click, then I can see all these variables. Right, now this is the correct way of debugging JavaScript. So I can see that if I scrolled, then client Y, client X, client Y will be So I have client Y and I have page Y, and page Y is bigger than client Y. That means I need to use page. Here. Okay, now it's correct. So still, when I click outside, picks the right color, but it places it too far. Actually, I should probably let user click a little bit out of the circle so that you can place it precisely at the edge. So maybe I need to actually add some border to it. Or not border, but padding. Wait, is padding considered part of width and height? I don't remember. Let's just add some and see. Oh no. Yeah, okay. Padding is outside width and height. So for it to work correctly, I will also need to consider this padding. So here I will need to subtract this padding from both X and Y. Oh, I need to do this before I convert it to 0 to 1. Also, my background color, background image is all wrong now. Let's try to fix the CSS. Background. What is it? Clip. Attachment. Background position. Here we go, and I also need to not repeat. Like this. Yeah, just copy this and put it into our style. Okay, now when I click outside, it will also register. So I want you to be able to click outside, but I want this box to still appear on the edge if you click outside. So I need to not just take those, but process them. Actually, I could just use these here, right? If I convert them, if I limit them by distance, so if it's bigger than 1, then I need to multiply I need to divide them by saturation so that they will stick back to 1. Yeah. So now I can use those if I convert them back into pixels. Oh wait, Let's place the picked color inside the color wheel so that it counts the offset not from the page but from the edge of the color wheel. For that to work, I will need to set position to relative on the color wheel. And right now it should be here. Cool. So now now I need to transform those back. Box X will be X plus 1 divided by 2 same for Y. Then box Y will also have to be flipped. And then we're multiplying it by 255 and adding 5 to it to account for the border. Now it should work. Let's see. Yep. Looks correct. How does it look on stream? Because this monitor is not very good at colors. It makes them less saturated. Let's see if I set this. Yeah, it still should be a little more saturated. Like if I just look at it, it looks white. But still, it's not as white. Set it to super white. Alright, you can see the difference here. Actually, it's pretty different. Yeah, we'll probably play with the actual... Oh no, I found a bug. Probably play with the code for the lamp more, but this works pretty well for now. So I'll just need to finish the interface itself. So right now if you click on the box, it sends you towards 0, I guess, so it's green now. The way to prevent that would be to set pointer events here to none, so that the box doesn't allow clicking on itself. It just passes through like this. Right. Actually, you'll probably want to be able to drag the box around. Right now, it just normally changes when you click. If you drag, it doesn't feel very natural. It should register every move that happens. So let's do that. So to do that, let's register, instead of registering on click here, let's register on mouse down. No, wait. mouse down, and this will start using the mouse move event. So instead of assigning that directly to an event, we'll save it to a variable. It will be our tracking function. Oh no. Color pick color by mouse. So on mouse down, we want to add an event to window. Mouse move. This event, the handler will be our pick color by mouse function. So after I press the button, it will start listening for mouse movements and activate this function every time I do it. And also I will add another event to stop doing this. Mouse up. This event will remove this event listener from mouse move. Let's see if it works. Well, the mouse move works, but stopping doesn't. Okay, I should stop. I should stop putting that into console. Window. Should be window. Of course. Here we go. Here we go. Now it works properly. Oh no. Can actually go outside the frame. Will it register the stop? Yeah. If I go outside the browser window? Yeah. Okay, I want to prevent the selection of text when you do this. So when I click on the color wheel, I want to prevent default behavior and also stop propagation. Yeah, now it doesn't select any text. Although now it stopped registering the mouse up event outside the frame. Which is not good. Let's try to not stop propagation. Didn't want to reload all the page. still doesn't register. I have to choose between not selecting text and registering the event. Why do you reload the whole page? You're just asking to reload the frame. Yeah, this, I want this, but I also don't want it to select any text. Oh no. What if I prevent the fold on the mouse move? Alright, this works. Yeah, nice. This is what I wanted. Okay, let me get some water and I'll come back and we'll continue working on the interface. I'm back. Hello. Okay, so while I'm live, I should figure out how to enable the video overlay option, because I don't really want it to be a panel. I want it to be on top of the video. And I'm not sure how to do it. Let's see. All right. Component. Did all that. Extension types. Component extension. Okay, here we go. So how do I how do I enable it? Not sure. Hi, Plum Plum. Did you just join? I'm great, how are you? Look. I made a interface. Did you see it? Or did you join after I showed it? You can pick the color now and send it to my lamp. I'm not gonna enable it for public right now because I'll still have to do. I need to make the interface not as ugly and also limit how fast you can do it and limit some colors. You cannot pick green. But the gist of it is working. Oh, nice. Okay, so what I'm trying to figure out right now, and that's because that's why I'm not that chatty, is how to make an overlay here. Like I want it to be a panel over my video and not down here. And it should work because I enabled video component here in the settings. But it doesn't. Not sure not sure why. Extension sidebar. To improve the channel experience. Oh, maybe my screen is too small. I don't know. Talks about how to update my extension, not how to make it from scratch. Maybe you should restart all. Well, it was running before I started, so I think it should be here. What? Use new extensions component design. Okay, let's Google this. It's the same page. Will it help? Twitch extension sidebar. Okay, maybe I haven't activated it. Maybe it only can be either a panel or an overlay. Let's go to my settings. Actually, I'm gonna check it out here. Settings. Where are the extensions? Extensions. That is component. Okay. Okay. think it should be working now. It's so tiny. No. Is it so small? Extensions. Okay, so the panel width is 320. 318 without borders, so let's have 318 here as base. Did it save? Okay. Here we go. Right now I don't see the bottom. Oh, I should change the aspect ratio. Let's make it 2:3. Is it possible to see it in Chrome phone? I'm not sure. I think mobile extensions are different. I'll look into it. And anyway, you won't be able to see it right now because it's local. I'm testing it. It's basically on my computer, so you won't be able to get it. Oh no. Oh no. This is worse. Okay, let's close all this. All right. This is not bad. I think you should be able to move it, right? That's weird. I think you should be able to move it around the stream. Guess not. Oh no. I cut a hole in myself. That's better. Okay, so I obviously need to center the color wheel. Right, I can do it here. So I don't need those buttons anymore. Let's copy this to here. Get rid of those. Oh no. Broke it. Oh yeah, because I'm trying to set functions for those. They don't exist. Okay, let's also set the style for the button. Actually, let's have no border. So let's make this invisible at the start. And set its visibility when we start picking the color. All right. Let's make the text a little bit bigger. Oh no, it's too big. All right, works. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna stop for now, and I'm gonna make some more changes off stream with it. Mainly, I want to implement like limiting, as I was talking about before. Like I want to limit how often can you change the color, and I also want to limit those colors so this doesn't happen. Hello. Yeah, so I somehow need to block off this section of the color wheel. But I'm pretty happy with what I made today. It's nice. Oh no, this shouldn't be happening. I'll look into that later. So I probably should disable the button while... Actually, let's do it now. It shouldn't be that hard. Just put a bigger time. Well, now there's no timer. Timer should also be server-side, so you cannot trick it by just changing the name or something. Okay, what did I want to do? I wanted to here. So yeah, when we start moving, let's disable the button. Oh no, wait. When we stop moving, let's enable it back. It still doesn't really work. Freezes. In green color, just to have some probability for all of the sabotage. Nah. Sorry, but no. Maybe if you like pay $100, then you can set the green color. Okay. So instead of this, I'm gonna make a pointer style pointer events to none, and here I'm gonna set style pointer events to all. Yeah, okay, it works now. What's this font? I want to use this font. Actually, no. I'll do it off stream. I should go now. Okay, thank you for everyone who joined. You'll be able to use this very soon. Maybe not tomorrow, but maybe in a couple of days. Should be fun. And if I have more viewers at some point, I thought maybe this could even be like a little game where you try to push the color to the one you want, but all the others are like, have their own color they want to set, so you could push it into different directions. And thank you, Blom Blom. Where will I be without you? Okay, thank you, and see you tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do tomorrow, but I'll come up with something. It's fine. So I'll probably announce it on Twitter again. I don't know if I want to stream in the morning. If I do, I should make it like a habit of waking up, because it's kind of hard for me right now, but I will stream in the evening at 6 or 7 Moscow. Again, I will post on Twitter. Alright, thank you. See you. Bye.